Welcome back to Morning Moments with Jesus. Have you ever had those times in your life, or maybe even you're having one right now, where it seems like things couldn't get any darker, couldn't get any worse? I've often called those midnight moments, those moments when it seems like there's no hope in sight, there's no light, there's no clear direction. All of those things go on in our minds and begin to quench our spirit, and we just find ourselves in a place where we just don't know where to go from here. The Apostle Paul in Acts chapter 16, him and Silas was on their missionary journeys, and they came upon a little bit of trouble in their life. Now they knew that they were right with God, but yet they found themselves in prison, beaten and just treated in a horrible way. And I look in Acts chapter 16 and I see that they too had a midnight moment. A moment when they had to decide if they were going to let this moment in their life break them or draw them closer to the Lord. And listen to what it says in Acts chapter 16 in verse 25 and 26, picking up on the fact that they're already in prison. And at midnight, Paul and Silas prayed and sang praises unto God, and the prisoners heard them. And suddenly there was a great earthquake, so that the foundations of the prison were shaken. And immediately all the doors were open, and everyone's bands were loosed. That's a powerful description on how to handle a midnight moment. A time in your life where it feels like it couldn't get any worse. Paul and Silas made a decision. We're going to pray to the same God that we have been praying to in the good times. When things are flourishing, when things are good, we're going to pray and sing to the same God in this midnight moment. Paul seemed to have made up his mind, but Silas agreed with him. There's power when somebody comes along beside you in your midnight moment and encourages you by praying with you and lifting up praise to God. In verse 25, it also says that while they were doing this, the prisoners heard them. Now, I don't know what happened to the prisoners after this story, but I truly believe all the rest of the days of their life, they remembered how Paul and Silas handled that midnight moment. When prayer and praise went up, God went into action. He shook the very thing that held them, loosened all the bands that had them bound, and they walked out and was able to testify to the jailer and lead him to Christ. All because of how they handled that moment. My prayer for you today is that if you're going through a dark time, a hopeless time in your mind, it feels hopeless, it feels like there's no end in sight, there's no light at the end of the tunnel, keep praying, keep praising, keep looking for Jesus, even in the midnight moment. Other people are watching how you handle this, and they'll always remember that your God in your good times was still your God in these moments. And church, that's going to make all the difference in the world. So I speak that blessing over you today, that you would take a little time to just spend as much time with Jesus as you possibly can. Seek Him early. Seek Him often. Seek Him with your whole heart. Be safe. Be strong and be blessed. And handle your midnight moment with prayer and praise. And watch God shake all the things that have you bound and walk out free.